Hello everyone. In our video 1 of the impact of British rule, we have covered the topic of administrative system. Now next we will deal with the land tax policies. In land tax policies also, we have to deal with the three important land tax policies, that are the permanent zamindari system, mahalwari system, and lastly it is raitwari system. Now let's start with the permanent zamindari system. The East India Company had to pay 4 lakh pounds to the British government for its control over Bengal province. In order to fulfill this commitment, the company has to stabilize its financial interest in a secure manner. Hence, it implemented many new land tax policies. Permanent zamindari system. Lord Cornwallis implemented a new land tax policy in Bengal and Bihar regions during 1793 in order to generate steady revenue per annum. This was called as permanent zamindari system. Under this system, zamindar became the landowners. The zamindar was accepted to pay the agreed land tax to the company on a set date every year. He was free to collect any amount of land tax from the farmers and could retain the excess money collected. This benefited the zamindar most. If the zamindars was unable to collect the land tax due to floods and famines and pay the company, the ownership of the land was taken away by the company. Both the zamindars and the company were benefited by the system, but the farmers were the grave sufferers. This system created a new social group that added the British. The farmer laborers suffered due to irregular working opportunities in the farming lands. They were exploited and had to lead a life of insecurity. This system was extended to Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Varanasi region. Later, according to the Charles Maxwell, the Indian farmers were born in debt, live in debt and died in debt due to the land tax policies of the British. Now it is second system is Mahalwari system. The company government entered an agreement at the level of Mahals with regard to payment of land tax in Uttar Pradesh, in many parts of Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Delhi. Here Mahal means Taluk. R.M. Bott and James Thompson implemented this system. There were differences in the implementation of this system from region to region. The big and the small zamindars were part of this system, since the company officials fixed more land tax than the accepted production from the fields. Many zamindars had to lose their ownership of lands. The marginal farmers and agricultural laborers who were dependent on these zamindars also suffered due to this system. Now next it is raitwari system. The raitwari system was first implemented in Brahmal region by Alexander Reed in 1792. Here it is Brahmal region means the territories of Tamil Nadu. It is called as Brahmal region. This system was later implemented in Madras and Mysore region by Thomas Monroy in 1801. Most of the regions had become part of British Empire by that time. Under this system, both the farmers and the company were directly linked. The tiller of the land, here tiller means farmer, the tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. The owner had to pay 50% of produce as a land tax to the company. The land tax had 30 years tenure. The tax could be revived after this tenure. Though the small farmers were given land ownership, they were subjected to more suffering due to heavy land taxes. The officials took quantitative actions to collect land taxes. Quantitative means strict punishment. The farmers has to borrow from the moneylenders whenever the crops failed. They had to sell their lands whenever they failed to repay the loans. Though the company government claimed that the new system benefits the farmers, the irony was that more farmers has to lose their lands due to its implementation. This in all the three land tax policies, only the farmers has to suffer a lot. Now we will see what are the overall impact of these three policies on Indian system. The impact of British land tax system. Here firstly, a new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. The farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of zamindars become landless slowly. Land becomes a commodity. Here commodity means a good that can be sold or buy. It is called as commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. Here mortgaging means money that you are borrowing by keeping something like property or land. It is called as mortgaging. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land taxes. The agricultural sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. The money lenders become strong. Now next, we will deal with the modern education system. The traditional education of Indians was in practice continuously. Certain changes occurred in the traditional education system during the rule of Muslim kings during the Middle Ages. Later, new changes occur during the British rule during 18th century. New schools were started for the children of British and Europeans living in India. Since these facilities were never extended to the locals, it was of no use for them. Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of modern education in India. In 1781, he started Kolkata Madrasa. A British individual started Sanskrit College in Banaras in 1792, but it was Charles Grant who pressed for the universalization of British education in India. The expansion of British education in India received special support after the appointment of Lord William Bentinck in 1828 as the Governor General of India. Bentinck appointed Machiavelli as the member of Governor General Executive Committee as well as appointed as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. The report on education submitted by him in 1835 became the base of modern education in India. In his policy aimed at the creation of new class of Indians who are Indian by body but British in intelligence, opinion and taste. The use of English medium in Indian learning system started after 1830s. Another important development included the establishment of universities in India. The Governor General Lord Dalhousie established universities in Kolkata, Mumbai and Madras as per the suggestion of Charles Wood Commission in 1854. After this, the education started becoming universalized in India. Here, universalized means common to all the members of the group or society. It is called as universalized. Now next we will deal with the impact of British education in India. Indian could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic ideas. Here rationality means logical thinking. Input was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated class. Periodicals started emerging. Periodical means the books or magazines which are published weekly or monthly. They are called as periodicals. This scrutinize means to examine something with care. It is called as scrutinize. This scrutinize the policies and working of the government, which in turn enable the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. New social and religious reformation movement emerged. The thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the minds of educated youths of India. The freedom struggle that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indian also. Indian could understand and appreciate their rich traditions. Like this, the new thinking and cultural perception had emerged due to the British education system, created a new generation of Indians with progressive attitude. Here we have completed both the systems, land tax policies as well as the education system. Hope it is clear for you. If you are having any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you.